Hello everyone, my name is Frank Catratis. I am a communication student here at UOIT, and today I come with you with a research grant proposal on should robots have rights. Here's a little bit of background information on that. So over the past few decades, robotics have gradually enhanced. There's a thing now known as automation, where robots are doing the work of humans. So normally this is in factories. However, if you go to a McDonald's, you could place your order with a machine instead of talking to a human. There have also been robots created, such as places at Hanson Robotics, where robots have the capacity to understand human speech, talk back to you, and comprehend everything you're saying. These robots are very human-like. One of them, named Sophia, was deemed the first robotic citizen in Saudi Arabia, being the first robot ever in recorded history to be considered a citizen that is not human, that is, a robot. There's also robots that have been created for purposes of sex. Sex robots have been created that are able to comprehend human speech as well and have no say whether they can consent or not. They just have sex. There's even a brothel in Barcelona where all patrons pay to have sex with robots. Now here's the importances and the consequences of this. So this raises ethical questions of should robots have rights? If robots are doing all these things, such as doing our work, if we are having sex with these robots, if we have the capacity to do these, should they be able to consent, have the right to get paid fairly? Do they have the right for fairness and family? The robot Sophia just recently told BBC that she would like to have a family and deems family to be important, something that we find very humanistic and very mammal-like. But now, robots with the same capacity of understanding such as humans are now feeling the same way. So the ethical questions of should we allow them to have the rights to feel this way and do things that only humans nowadays that we know of do? So here's the current research and the gaps. So current research places emphasis on the roles of robots and the ability to be a citizen, to be considered equal to humans, and how robots could work in conjunction with emergency services and healthcare. There's also talk that robots will in fact have the rights of humans within 20 to 50 years. However, the gap is there's still no talk about how humans feel about robots having rights. There is no talk about how we feel if we could accept a robot the way we accept a human, to seeing them walking down the street, to be able to have families, be able to consent to sexual acts, and so forth. So this creates a lot of political and social discourse. If we don't have robots having rights, how would the public respond? If they can't respond and have the right to say no to sexual acts, is this a form of rape culture? These are some of the many ethical questions that can be asked and wondered about with robots not having rights. So my research methodology goes like this. I'd like to have surveys given to both millennials and Generation X here in Canada. I would like to have students within the millennial group participate in surveys within universities. Students who participate in the survey and answer the questions properly will receive a credit for completing the survey. Now, for Generation X, it's much harder than that. They are an older generation who do not really need to go to school for the majority. So for Generation X, surveys would be hand-delivered to them by door. Studies have shown that when the older generations are hand-delivered surveys, they are 57% more likely to respond and give those surveys back. And this is the highest number of responses for any older generation within surveys. The results will be calculated accordingly and analyzed to present the current findings of the ethical responses in both age groups. So in conclusion, with all these surveys being answered, we will be able to understand how the public of Canada feels in both these age groups about robotic rights. Do they feel like this is something that can happen, or do they feel that robots should remain a subspecies and only have a human master? So the prose reflex will reflect the grand narrative of the social, psychological paradigms and expose how different age groups respond to this technological advance. And the proposed price for this research grant would be $150,000 to be complete and analyzed. I thank you for your time and wish you all the best and hope that you too wonder if robots should have rights.